welcome to another one of my videos. So this video today, I'm going to be talking about before you react, talk to God instead. This is coming from a situation in my life recently to where I'm thinking somebody's sending subliminal message to me on social media, but instead of sending another subliminal message to them back, I said I was gonna go talk to God about them and the situation and everything, because I don't want there to be any back and forth. And then you can try to rationalize it in your mind and say, I'm posting this because they need to see it, and this, that, and the other. Like, it's your motive behind a lot of things that, the post might not be so bad, but why are you posting those things? Why are you saying that? You want the person to see it, and you want it to have a certain feel for the person, I just prefer to have direct communication. I have stopped allowing other people to determine how I react to certain things. For example, in a friendship, sometimes there could be things that bother you, right? And some friends, they are avoidant of confrontation, or they don't want to talk about it, and so they kind of push things under the rug and they keep the conversation moving forward. Maybe they know that they offended you or they did something that you didn't like, but they're not owning up to it. They're not kind of talking about it, or not just them. There was a situation maybe with both of you guys that and they know, that's kind of like, we should talk about this, but it's going to cause confrontation, and they kind of sweep it under the rug and don't want to talk about it. In the past, I used to let that fly. I would let the person just keep talking about whatever it is that they're talking about, even though they're changing the subject. Not anymore. I would say these days I hold people more accountable for their actions. Not only their actions, but it's not that I'm trying to hold them so much accountable. I am just wanting to talk about it. And if you don't want to talk about it, then I don't know, because I want to, and that's important. And I feel like when something is important to you, you shouldn't sweep it under the rug. You shouldn't go along with what this other person wants to do. This is not about keeping things safe and not having a confrontation. No, this is going to fester, and now you're going to regret and keep these things inside. That's not healthy. When, like, maybe in friendships, if the friendship is over, or if anything has made you upset with somebody, I feel like going to God is the best thing. That way you have told God your grievances, told him what you think about the situation. If you want to be friends, or want to be back with this person, if it's maybe a relationship or a friendship or your mom or anybody, you would tell God, can you fix this relationship? I don't know how to fix it. Before you react and say something that's mean, say something that can be misinterpreted, saying something that's subliminal, and fighting back, because the devil likes that. He likes to go back and forth. He likes for these things to be on your brain and for them to distract you, basically. Don't go back and forth. Stay in a silent situation, because to be honest with you, using silence, it is wisdom to do that. I would say before you react, pray. Before you send the message, pray. Before you defend yourself, pray, because our ego is strong. We want to defend our position in situations and say, No, you're wrong. You did this. Even if the person is wrong, you have to be careful, because you could be engaging in activity that is not loving. And God takes that seriously. I want to be silent, basically. Because if I'm silent, I can't get misinterpreted. If I'm not saying anything, there's not a way that you can misinterpret what I just said. I haven't said anything. So it keeps you safe as far as where God is concerned. You have not said anything. We have to be honest with ourselves, and us to ask ourselves, why do I want to say this on social media? Why do I want to post this? Why do I want to argue back? Does this deserve a conversation? Should I call the person and directly talk? The Bible says if you have a problem with your neighbor or your friend, to go to them in private. Posting things on social media, even if it's subliminal and even if it's just a post, you're being indirect. And being indirect to me is, I don't want to say cowardly, but it's, once again, it's not handling confrontation very well. It is somebody that's hiding. And I take pride in not hiding. I'm honest. And being honest, no matter what somebody thinks of it, is so powerful. Because I'm not concerned about, this is going to cause a ruckus. Friendships and relationships, period, are not something that is going to just be so perfect all the time. You might have some disagreements. That's what makes us human. You know what I mean? So God can show you also, after you pray, that your desire to respond isn't coming from wisdom at all. It's actually coming from pride. God will fight your battles for you. If there's somebody out there that has done you wrong, they are definitely wrong, you go to God, not the person. Because more times than one, if they did something really low down and crazy, that is a spirit. Once again, we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against rulers of wickedness in high places, principalities. These people, they're having spirits. So it's not really something that you can say to somebody. It's something that you need to pray about. Not with them, but for them, for your situation. You need to pray. This is spiritual, you guys. And some battles, they just belong to God. When we rush ahead of Him, we can create consequences for ourselves. Prayer would have prevented that. Or if you wouldn't have opened your mouth, you wouldn't have to face those consequences. So I encourage everybody to take it to God. Let Him search your heart. Let Him reveal your motives in the situation. Sometimes we are so blind, we don't even know our own self, what we're doing. Sometimes trusting God looks like staying quiet until He tells you otherwise. This is what you call seeking God's face no matter what, being obedient, being humble, even though someone is attacking you. Have you ever looked back and realized that if you had reacted immediately, you would have made the situation worse? And let me tell you something, that is what demons want. They want to instigate the situation. They want to stir up strife in your heart, unforgiveness in both of you guys' heart, anger. They love it. It's something that feeds them. It's like food. But when you don't say anything, and I'm preaching to myself here right now, this is good. This is good for me. When you don't say anything and you remain quiet, you give them nothing to eat. You stop it right there. you pray against those spirits. You pray that the person can see themselves. You pray for yourself, things that you don't see in your own self. But your responsibility basically in these disagreements, in these situations, is to go to God and to trust Him, even if it doesn't look like anything is happening. Because going back and forth, it gets unforgiveness started. And the devil knows that unforgiveness is a doorway to not following really what God has said that we should do. And it's very sneaky, unforgiveness. It's just like you be mad at the person on the inside. It's like every time you see them or someone mentions their name, it's just like, oh, I remember they did this to me. No, cut it off. Go talk to God. And sometimes for forgiveness, you need to talk to God multiple days. Like, God, I thought of this person and it makes me sick. Please help me to get this person out of my mind. Get this person out of my thoughts, the anger that I have for this person. Help me to forgive them. Sometimes people react and do certain things. I'm talking about that other person that they did that to you. They're doing that because they don't even know. They don't know any better. What did God say on the cross? What Jesus said, He said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Some people really they don't have the information to understand what they're even doing to you. Do you understand that they don't have the tools to understand what they're doing? That right there in itself is actually, it's not sad, but it makes you think of the situation from a different perspective. Not that this person is being malicious, not that this person is being nefarious and they're trying to do something so bad. They just don't have the tools to understand, and they need to grow more. You know what I'm saying? So you sitting up there being mad about a baby, let's just call it what it is, or say it like that, because if you could imagine a baby is doing something that they don't know is bad. They don't know how this offends somebody, or they don't know how to take accountability, or but I also can chop that up to it being a spirit of pride as well. So just pray for them. Just pray for them. Everybody's growing. Everybody's learning. And that's my message for today. Take it to God before you react. Don't say anything. Hold your peace. Let God fight your battles. Because let me tell you something, honey. When He does something, it's for real. Everybody gonna feel it. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. All right. Bye-bye.